Hello and welcome to this edition of the Weekly Dose, Challenge Your Perspective. This is Patrick Dyer in Washington, D.C. However your position is on the recent rejection by the National Assembly of the appointment of Dr. Monica Juma to be the next secretary to the cabinet, I want you to take a pause and think about it. Was this action by the National Assembly in itself inherently beneficial to the advancement of democracy in Kenya? Take it that the majority of the members of parliament are from the ruling party, Jubilee, the president's party. And they took it upon themselves to reject the president's nominee. We also know that it's this very same parliament members who vetted Dr. Monica Juma to be the PS, the Ministry of the Interior. How come that they now turn around and say she's not fit to be the minister as an appointed minister by the president? Now, this action alone has enabled questions to come out and for the public to see the behind horseplay and arm twisting, something that we never saw before. We know that not too long ago, the President Moi, would make appointments and firing of ministers willy-nilly. You would only hear about so-and-so has been appointed to be the minister of whatever during this 7 p.m. news or the 1 o'clock news. No reason was given as to why they were appointed, what's their qualification. No behind the scenes was available to the public. We just accepted it. But now with this rejection, several things are coming up. We now know that a number of members of parliament have gone to the president and tried to arm twist him. You agree to certain things, we'll say yeah. And the president saying no, because it would be against what he's trying to do, the war on corruption. We now learn that part of the reason is that Dr. Monica Juma, as the PS of the Minister of Interior, has been very strict on not allowing the members of parliament who have previously had a free hand in dipping their hand into the funds and using it for their political purposes, campaigns, harambes within their constituencies. They now say she is not fit. We hear about the idea about the president bringing back the nomination and the rules that they have to be waited for the next 6 months. So the public gets exposed to the workings of the government, which I think is good for the country and good for democracy. That the president nomination can be rejected, whatever the reason is. But it gives us an opportunity to look into how the government works. Questions are now coming out as to these very same members of parliament who fought tirelessly about rejecting criteria that would have been used to qualify to vie for election as a member of parliament. These very same people, who some of them may be not as qualified as Dr. Juma in anything, are suddenly making judgments as to somebody's qualifications. It is a civic education to the country that we are seeing playing out. And I think in the long run, it is good for our country. It is good that institutions are acting independently, whether right or wrong, that they're not merely being a rubber stamp to each other. The president will not just give in just because they are within the same party. The members of the parliament will not just give in because the president of the party says so. It's those checks and balances that advances the idea of democracy and the civic education to the people about the mandates of the different bodies and its institutions growing stronger. And it becomes part of the society expectation of how things should work. That is my perspective. What's yours?